So Solemn, it's another year, and we're back with our yearly podcast. What's it called again? It was like...
Is there a name?
It was something like... I forgot the name. It was just something with Solemn. Uncensored discussions of Solemn?
Something like that? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, the real talk with Solemn.
Was it
That's
that?
right.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Sick,
We didn't
sick.
forget. So how's Worlds this year, I guess?
Bro, fucking shit. I went 5-2 again. Dude, I went 5-2 every year. I went 5-2 in 2022 and I bubbled in.
Oh, yeah?
And then I went 5-2 last year and I got 14th. And now I got 5-2 this year and I got 13th.
So I feel like if you don't use Highlander, you bubble. But if you do use Highlander, you just make it.
Yeah, dude, I should play Highlander again.
I think that's a sign, right? They should hit everything. Highlander best deck.
Dude, that deck is so ass. I'm so mad that, like, it got 2 tops. Like, I mean, congrats to them, but, like, it's the most frustrating deck ever because, like, once you play it clean, nothing matters anymore. It's just, like, up to check top 10 and up to if you draw raid.
I think I read Ned's tournament report, and one time he says he fought against one of the Highlanders, and they went really good, and they missed their top 10 check, and then they lost.
Yeah. I mean, that's the fucking deck. It's so frustrating. Every single start of the season, I'm like, Highlander is like the thing, bro. Like, we got new cards in Lyrical. It's gonna be so good. And I put them in, I play, and the same thing happens. You check top 10, you whiff, you go 5-2, and then...
What do you think of the ban list before Worlds? Did you like it? Or the idea of it? You know?
I like the fact that it was hard because they, like, had a good look at it. You know, they banned some things that people didn't even see coming because they actually try to be ahead, you know?
Yeah.
But the issue is that they weren't ahead quite enough. And I feared this in my ban list prediction. I said, like, they also had to nuke Spikes and they also had to nuke Fenrir OTK, like, fully. I will say, though, I was not... Like, I thought banning Gelcha was enough, and I don't think it is. I think you need to ban Valencia, Oranges, whatever the hell she's called as well. But yeah, like, I think Spikes didn't do well, right?
I think only 1 or 2 people brought Spikes. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think more brought it. Yeah, but the thing is that, like, it's just not a great deck, but the problem is it's like an unfair deck, right?
Okay,
so, like, you need to now play a deck that has a win con into Spikes, which means a lot of decks that have a win con to Fenrir are already out of the question. And you had a lot of issues like that in this format. So I was very frustrated. So, like, you saw me 2 weeks ago in the Discord. I was telling everyone, like, I am giving up. Ned is winning Worlds. None of you are respecting Ned. Fuck all this. And Ned won Worlds. So, I mean...
I think it's quite interesting that most people took, like, comfortable decks in a way to Worlds rather than, like, innovate or, like, go with the kind of all-in strategy.
So the thing is that, like, I tried to innovate first really hard. I made a Crestless Grand Blue deck that had a solution for everything.
Okay.
Like, it had, because no one knows this, but OTT was actually one of the best decks this format.
Okay.
And, like, Ichi Popo bullshit. Because the format, except for certain things, slowed down a lot. So you could beat Spikes, you could beat Grand Blue, and so forth. OTT really good. So I had a solution for OTT in the deck that Grand Blue normally doesn't have. Like, normally Grand Blue just gets washed by OTT. I had a solution for Fenrir OTK in the deck. I had a solution for Spikes. I had a solution for everything. And then the problem is that Crestless Grand Blue sucks. So, like, it is so fair that anytime you went into Crest Grand Blue, it's just like, they have Crest, guess I lose. Unless the Crest Grand Blue player misplays, but, like, you shouldn't assume that happens. So, like, I tried to innovate and it just didn't fucking work. Because any innovation I tried was, like, either too fair into some of the unfair shit or didn't cover everything. The only deck that covered everything was Crestless Grand Blue. With all the weird decks, I mean, we can talk about the specifics if you want, but, like, it was just too fair into Crest Grand Blue. So I picked Crest Grand Blue itself. I put in 3 Rolocks because that beats Fenrir OTK. For people who want to know, basically, I played against our world champion again. And he swung for 100 million and I guarded with Rollock, and he swung for 100 million and I guarded with Rollock, and he swung for 200,000 and a PG and a 200,000 and another Rollock, easy peasy. Swings for 28 and I can't guard to 28 and I die. So, like, Fenrir OTK, you know, I had it somewhat covered, but it was just barely not enough. I had 5 grade 3s in my hand. So like I think Crest Grand Blue with Rollock is like a little innovation, I guess. But I agree. It's not very cooking because I think the format was so wide you couldn't fully cook. Except for Derek. I think Derek's shout thing was really good.
I think it's interesting that like the results of premium kind of shows that if you put in the effort to kind of innovate and put time into practicing, you are getting really good results. Because we're doing this Worlds, right?
Yes.
And it's pretty much the best players out there who qualified.
On average.
Yeah, on average. And like a lot of the players also are old players of the game. So they're not like they rocked up one day and went, well, at least most of them. They didn't just rock up one day and go, I'm new to the format, but I made it. But these are, they played premium for a very long time and now they're at Worlds kind of thing. So if you do put in the effort and you do like try new things, you can get rewarded.
Yes. The only issue is like, because I knew about Vanguard TK like quite a long time ago and I was playing it at some point and I was still very frustrated by the deck because it can like randomly implode without it like being fully in your control.
Yeah, but I think that's like a symptom with a lot of combo decks as well,
Yes, but the thing is like, how do I say this properly? If you play a deck like Grand Blue, if you're playing in someone who you think you're better than, it is very hard to auto lose, except for like missing Crest on stream. When they do have Crest, then you do auto lose. But like it's very hard to auto lose basically. But I think like with the Fenrir OTK deck, you can sit in front of literally anyone, and sometimes you just auto lose, and that is extreme. That was so scary to me that I like didn't dare to pick it.
But like you kind of like sometimes you just have to, right? In a way, like that's just you have to put the odds on,
I guess, and maybe it was actually worth that because then again, missing Crest into some key matchups is the same thing, really.
But I think it comes down. It'll really come down to: are you prepared to play this deck at like max power and like playing all the correct lines? Because everyone's worst nightmare is they misplay. And if it's a combo deck, you misplay, it's worse than even just...
I mean, you should assume you don't misplay at Worlds, I think. But I think Derek's deck was actually the solution to the format. I think like the Fenrir OTK deck was the close second. Because also like almost no one knew how the fuck it worked. Like so many people were like, oh, Grand Blue beats it. I'm like, bro, if you think Grand Blue beats it, you've never played it.
Isn't it kind of weird? Because that deck kind of has been floating around a bit on the fringes. Everyone's been memeing about it for a while.
Yeah, but no one knows how to play it correctly. I think right now on planet Earth, there's 2 people playing it correctly. And I know so many people are like, oh no, actually I played it. But no, you fucking didn't. Like,
not at Worlds.
Yeah, but not even that. Like I've seen streams of people play it. I've seen people talk about how they play it, which tells me they don't know how to fucking play it. Like the fact like on turn 2 Ned was counting his deck and like thinking ahead of certain things and like he was properly grade 2 gaming me, because like whenever someone's like, oh well, I might play Fenrir OTK but I auto lose to Grand Blue, it's like, bro, you don't auto lose to Grand Blue. I was so frustrated but I couldn't tell them because I didn't want the whole room to be Fenrir OTK. But the thing is like I think Fenrir OTK should always lose to Shout.
I think it's weird, like, cause if you were talking about Fenrir OTK losing to Grand Blue, that was like a thing from last format, but now they don't even have the tools to kind of do it anymore, unless they play like 3 roll-ups, 4 roll-ups kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so basically like everyone thought, oh, you just Sanctitude Nora Nora and that's it. The thing is Fenrir OTK can do a pattern where with Gleipnir and the G starter, they do more attacks than that. So even on a strike turn you die, and also the actual correct thing for them to do is to just grade 2 game until they can like history collection loop you, and then you need to have 4 PGs in your hand, which you can only have with Rollock. So that's why having Rolocks is correct in that matchup. But so it doesn't, like it beats every Grand Blue except for the ones playing Rollock, and then it beat me despite playing Rollock. So like, I don't know. I just think that the loop deck Derek made, however, or Derek helped make, I guess, was the actual solution, because I think it implodes less and it is even more unfair and it might even be faster.
Yeah, I think you definitely need way more, how do you say it? You need to practice it a lot well, I wouldn't say you went up to practice a lot more. I think they both practice a lot, but it's kind of like
I think both are. I don't know enough about the shout loop to know if you need practice, but I know that Fenrir OTK you need to practice ton.
I know Fenrir. Like at least Fenrir in a way had this kind of base. You have the idea of how it's done. But I think with the Nova one, you might have an idea if you kind of know like if you heard about it, right? But then each situation is very, very different. You know, every time you shout, you have to make sure you're doing it correctly. That's like my thoughts on like the outside.
But it's the same for Fenrir OTK because like if you start setting up the loop and then you notice, oh, I've got like an uneven amount of cards, but almost every card says Soul Charge 2, you're fucked.
Yeah,
it's over. You had to like keep a crit to draw into your last card, or you had to like I don't know, like there's a lot of ways to get around these things. Let's not get too detailed here because people will get bored, but like that deck, you need to actually be counting your deck on turn 2 and thinking like, oh, on turn 4, I'll be at that amount of deck count, and then these things will happen to then get to my stack. And how am I gonna get to Ladder? How am I gonna get to Rappler? How am I gonna get to Gleipnir? Am I gonna have like an extra Rappler in my soul to blast out with the Gleip? Like, there's so much that needs to be set up, and that's also scary, by the way, because like you could have a key piece go to damage and an Injection Angel go to damage, and now you don't have access to it anymore. That's another way that they can implode. So like the deck is like really hard to play optimal. That's also why I say there's only 2 people right now playing it optimal. It's like Noman and Ned, end of story.
Noman?
yes. Noman like before Worlds like played that deck so much to like help me test into it, and that at first he was ass. You know, at first it was like, oh, this deck is ass. But then the more you play it was like, fuck, this is just the best deck, and Ned will play it like probably even better. So yeah. He's world champ now for a reason.
Yeah.
Go so EU.
Ooh, EU versus NA.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. Fenrir made first place. I like Derek finally came third again. He was on a world slump for a while as well. So it's congrats to him for getting out of that slump. I think he's been on a pretty good tear this whole weekend.
I heard about the Daivangasai thing as well. Right? Yeah,
he's been winning a lot. I hope it continues for him.
Yes.
And for everyone who played at Worlds, it's like for the viewing experience, like the stream, as well, we had like some cool graphics. Some things were changed, but at least we saw some really good games. Except for yours, your one was
mine was terrible. I am so sad. Like that was over on turn 1. Like you see me like squirm and try, like you just see this is just unplayably bad.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is, like, if you play Crestless Grand Blue, you can still bank on your opponent misplaying because you can deck them out because you have so many defensive extra tools.
Yeah, your deck is built in a way to not rely.
Yeah, exactly. You have like more Honollies and all this crap. You have more shield in general. But Crest Grand Blue Mirror without Crest, it's just worthless. Like you can try. Like in the final turn, the almost final turn, like I didn't guard with Sanctitude on his bounty because I was like, if I get really lucky, I can keep it for his Barto turn. And that like makes you lose a card, but it's just like you have to get so lucky. You have to start pulling moves out of your ass that don't make sense just to grab that 5% win rate somehow. It's ridiculous. It's so bad.
Okay. Anyway, that was Worlds. Overall, what do you think of the Worlds experience this time? Well,
so first of all, I think the goodies thing was amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you have like this beautiful box. You have a mat that thank God, this is so important. A mat without the mascot. I love this, bro. Like I have so many like Bushi Worlds mats now with that mascot, and like. Look, no offense to Bushi, I'm sure that mascot is like doing really well in Japan, but that thing is ugly as hell. And so like having like this is my Worlds mat, and you have to point at it, and there's just this little chibi girl is just like, now we have a beautiful alt art Katrina, absolutely gorgeous, and they also have 2 pairs of sleeves, a deck box. The deck box is kind of like whatever, it's one of those thin plastic ones, so that's not too amazing, but the mat, the box, the sleeves, like it's really, really nice. They really stepped up.
This is good. Like, I totally agree. Like everyone carrying those big boxes, it just feels like, you kind of earned something, right?
Yeah. It feels way more real. Because like, remember, I think 2 years ago, Mark or so, he had these mats and he had to put them on his shoulders, like it was just so down bad. And then so after that, goodies, I guess Worlds itself, I think the tables were a bit smaller than last time.
Yeah, I mean, the tables usually have to do with the venue.
Yes, of course, like it's not up to them, but that's just like, I'm just thinking back to the Worlds experience. My Worlds experience was round 2, I sit in front of Ned, I'm like, fuck. Round 3 was against the Grand Blue stream incident. And then I just had to win out from there, but
yeah, but it's when you lose 2 that early, it's rough, right?
Yes, it's.
I think. What do you think of the venue? I think.
It's fine. Was there complaints? I don't know.
Oh no, the one thing I noticed, like, so this year is kind of different. Usually we have the venue closer to Akihabara.
Yes.
This one was way closer to Haneda, so very far away.
Yes.
And I felt like, you know, if once you finish the tournament, if you're close to Akiba or whatever, you can just go out and then later come back.
Yeah, you can buy your Sandas away.
Yes.
You can go to like Radio Kaikan, buy some figurines. You're like, oh, I went 5-2, but at least I have Dragon Ball or something like that.
Yeah, and then come back and watch the finals or cheer your friends on, right? But I feel like if you don't have friends, that's a you problem.
Yeah, bro, that's the hard part, right? Getting friends. But.
Yeah, but I think the issue this time was that it's not there.
Yes.
So it's on the Oculus. So you just go back and then you don't come back.
Yes.
When you go to Daibanga side, you line up in that horrible line.
Yes. I mean, the thing is, like, if you just don't drop early, you don't have that problem.
Yeah, but I think I think the overall vibes for Worlds this year was better. But the venue at the event itself, at the last few rounds, finals, there was like not that many people there anymore.
Yeah, I think the location itself is definitely worse, but the venue itself isn't, in my opinion. Like the venue was fine. It's just like it would have been indeed nice to be at UDX or something.
More central, yeah.
But I mean, Golden Week, it's impossible to get that place right now. Speaking of which, I actually think one thing that is worse for the World side is the fact that it wasn't Golden Week. I think they did it close to Golden Week because they wanted to have like the Daivangasai experience on top.
Yeah.
But Golden Week is fucking hell, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Like anyone who comes to Japan for the first time because of Worlds and has to like go to Shibuya or Shinjuku or anything like that in Golden Week, now thinks like, man, I'm suffocating here.
Yeah.
And it's like, in the normal time, like January, February, it is not like that. It is so much. I mean, Akihabara will always be Akihabara, but I don't know.
It's extra full.
It's so full. It's actually too much for me personally. So that is like one less ideal thing.
Was the Shinkansen real? Did you catch a plane out of Osaka or just catch the train?
Shinkansen.
Was the train really full or actually okay?
No. I mean, the Shinkansen, it's reserved seats, right? So like, you'll always have some space, but the regular trains are like super full in Golden Week, and crossings are full, and stores are full.
It's harder to get accommodation as well.
Yeah, and if you wanted to get into the Nintendo store, for example, you needed to line up for a ticket for the right to go in. Like, my girlfriend, she went to the Nintendo store, and I was like, I'm not going in. I'll wait outside.
I think the Pokemon store was the same.
Yeah, the Mewtwo one in Shibuya, I think.
Yeah.
The cash registry line went through the store as a snake, outside of the store, past the statue, all the way to outside. So if you wanted to buy something, you had to do like, I don't know, a fucking hour and a half line.
Yeah.
Like that. That is just only, I think, a Golden Week thing. So
yeah.
It's like less ideal for people, visiting for their first time.
Yeah.
I think.
The thing is, like, so I think the best, in terms of like best vibes before this year, though, for like, a World, I think America was up there simply because there was so many people so many spectators, so many people that weren't playing, and you just saw a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think this year actually ranks really high because previous Worlds was just the Worlds competitors coming in with some of their friends, and you just show up, you do your tournament, and then you all leave.
Yes.
So this time, like, a lot of people also came for Daibanga. Like, there were no spectators at the event, but a lot of people were just coming for the EXO as well. So you just see a lot of people, like, just randomly. And I think I guess if you're a content creator, which you are, right?
Am I? Once every 6 months I am.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you actually just meet a lot of people, and this time, like, because it's Japan, in this period, you also meet a lot of people you don't normally meet when you went to, like, America.
So me personally, I didn't go to the Vanguard side. I should have. But the day itself, I don't know if it was Noman, but he told me like, yeah, I've been an hour in a line for 2 hours now. I'm like, I'm good. Because
That's only the merch line. That was only the merch
I don't know the specifics, but I was like, this. I'm tired. I'm still cooked from going 5-2 like an idiot. I just want to chill now. So yeah, I don't know. Like, but I do get it though, especially for like first time. Though I have to say, I think last year to me was also very nice because yes, you didn't have like Vanguard, you did have different fights events. The Vanguard Worlds Invitational. So I do think that also added a little bit of that. But I guess not everyone got to enjoy that. So I understand it's. It's not something that everyone will share.
Okay. Like this year, the worst thing was that the event was on Friday for some reason.
Because the Vanguard is the weekend.
Like so like also it like kind of affects the stream as well, right? You stream on a Friday.
Does it?
Because on Friday people's working.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I think on Saturday, like at least America can kind of cheat in because it's Friday night.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I'm so used to testing with no one and like. Which is good.
Yeah. So next year,
might as well be unemployed. He works in IT, so.
so next year, the funny thing is that Vanguard is on a Sunday and Monday. So if they were to put Worlds, it might be on a Saturday, but it'd also be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but because also like the Vanguard Worlds Invitational thing from different fight, if they do it every time, like in Golden Week, you can never do it again because all the venues are always rented out.
Maybe,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know. It's a tough one. It's the choice between the Daivangasai event experience and a more quiet and cheaper Worlds experience. Both of their pros and cons.
Yeah. So I guess that pretty much wraps up Worlds, right? Like a bit of everything.
Yes, I think so. I guess the last thing you can say is like, a new premium ban list. Nuke Fenrir OTK, Nuke Shout, Nuke OTT, Nuke Spike Brawlers. I guess get rid of crests fully because the crest mirror is painful.
Yeah.
And then the format will be good.
I feel like Nova Mill will probably go like 100%, right?
Yeah, with Fenrir OTK should as well.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah, for sure.
I think just every card with Fenrir in its name should be at 0 at this point. Should it? Just like, actually no, Melissa, Valencia as well. No matter what, I think you could do the Fenrir OTK with just Valencia without a Fenrir card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I do want to emphasize that like. I think the overall the ban list itself was good.
Yes.
But this is like the result like of Worlds people testing and like if you were to make a broken deck in standard, a tier 0 deck in standard, like it won't be at the same power level as a premium deck. But this is like Worlds players trying to break the format and they've succeeded.
Yes.
And they've got like a deck that is comparably like broken for the format. Like every other card game will have this issue too. The same kind of cards are there for them, right?
Yes, but also it's partially because of the ban list hit like 95% what it had to hit, and in doing so, it created a bit of a power vacuum, I think. So like the shout loop was different because that was like not known enough at all. So even if they made the perfect ban list, shout loop would have still been like a broken bullshit deck, and like you said, it's because of people innovating. But yeah, I think now that should be taken into account. For sure.
Which is like normal when you have a game at this like with the magnitude of premium, for example.
Any eternal format kind of game for sure. I'm pretty sure this has happened in other card games even that aren't as eternal. Like you've had tier 0 formats.
Yeah, like MTG would have them. Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh's eternal. So
MTG had like that bear thing, right? Like, was it Oko or something?
Yeah,
like turned everything into a bear and was like tier 0 or something?
Yeah, but they've had a lot in the past too. So it's not like it's a one-off thing. So it happens when like people are spending their time, which is a good thing because that means people are investing in your game.
Yes.
They're trying to find the best thing to play. So when the investment is there, it's not like they're playing something else, for example. So I think it's kind of good thing, even though you might say, unfair deck, sad times, right?
Yes. I mean, again, if the ban list was completely perfect, the Worlds would have just been won by Shout Loop.
Yeah.
Because there was no way to know about that.
So, okay, that's cool. So, in terms of the format, though, how are you feeling about... premium in general going into Spring Fest?
If we had one. I think
Summerfest, yeah.
I think Summerfest premium being singles is a disgrace. Real talk with Saul, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I think it being singles is ridiculous. I think the fact that Lyrical Cup has so many locations is ridiculous.
That is something that surprised me. I thought Lyrical Cup was only going to be for like this like small locations, which they didn't have much premium before.
And the thing is, even that is no longer an argument, really, because like in, for example, Europe. It used to be the case that Spain, Italy, Portugal, and I guess Greece at some point barely had premium, and so I would have understood back then for them to have some lyrical thing instead. But recently, those events have, popped just as good or almost just as good as stuff like France. So like, there wouldn't have been any location in Europe that could have had a lyrical cup if they just looked at attendance numbers.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's just ass. And I'm honestly like not even that stoked to travel for any of this. Because like, let's say you team up, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to team up with friends day one, blah, blah, we're testing together and so forth. And now day two, suddenly, you have to kill them.
Yeah.
It just feels, it's such a vibe shift. It's so bad.
And I feel like the BSF like period is also a time when players are bringing like interesting decks into the teams, like people like tracking the format in that way. And premium is like you release a new ban list. It's the perfect time to do that.
Yes.
So
you can't.
You just
you have to. You basically just look at the world's format and go, okay, we played this. Unless they do a ban list right before, I hope so, because otherwise people is just shout loop and Fenrir OTK. Like
sounds like Highland or something.
It's shout loop, Fenrir OTK, and like decks that are so fast, like that just sack the shit out of you before you get to play the game. Those are the options.
Even the third slot sometimes people think of like crazy ideas, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, if it was teams, the format would still be different because like
no, everyone's gonna read shout loop.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna read Fenrir OTK.
And you even couldn't, right? So there would always be at least one person who plays a normal deck, and so that would change a lot. For example, my Crestless Grand Blue list that I cooked up for this Worlds before the Crest Grand Blue one that I brought, that would be the perfect Springfest deck because the odds that I face a Crest Blue that's playing optimal is so small, like it would have been sick, but we can't because it's singles. And the thing is, like, I prefer singles over teams in general. Because there's usually Worlds tied to it. So it's like, I'm going to try hard because I want to get to Worlds again. But now not even that is tied to this single server. It's like, what are we doing? I
think like one of the worst things as well is like, I don't know how many, I think you guys get like 4 or 3 premium events in EU. It's basically a big location to get premium events.
And it's not even that though, because the Netherlands is usually pretty good and they have lyrical.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was going to go to the Netherlands, but now I'm not.
Yeah, but like AO for example, only gets 2.
Yeah,
in Indonesia, it's Sydney.
Yeah,
everywhere else is lyrical top. So
fucking up. It's just so bad. Like I'm literally looking at VGC again, even though I had like given it up because it takes too much time. Because I'm like, am I really gonna like pay fucking 400 to go to the UK, and then trains there are also really expensive. Maybe it ends up being 600 to day one play standard in buff format. I guess 1 and 3 will be Bob, and the 1 will be Levy, which is also ass, and then the final one will be cool. And on a singles premium that looks like Worlds, nah, I'm gonna play VGC.
Yeah, I feel like you're losing players when you just kept them in your sphere, right?
Yes, and you also fearmonger, because Bowser's once again people going, oh, it's the end of premium, blah 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 blah, it's dying, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, I'm so tired of having to be like the Vanguard of like of the format. Let's say at least like promotionally, it's like. It's really tiring. I do not want to have to fight Bushiroad every 6 months on decisions like this, so I'm tired. I'm old.
Like, in a way, it's the second BSF in a row where they've done something weird.
Yes.
And now it's slowly being, I guess it's being accepted that BSF is like now a weird format rather than just a teams format, which is...
Yeah, which sucks because weird formats are ass and team formats are great. Like, literally, Vanguard was setting itself apart as one of the games where you have a team format. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't have it for the longest time until they started doing 3v3 YCSs, and everyone loves 3v3 YCSs. Pokemon doesn't have this shit at all. Magic, I think, had it for some online thing, but doesn't have it at all.
I can't remember now, back when they did it for like Worlds, for example, Australia, the Nations, and all that,
Yeah, but like, so many games don't have this, and so Vanguard had that, and it was really interesting, and they're just like getting rid of it, or at least half of it is just...
Yeah, it's just ass. I mean,
like so far, like it hasn't affected BCS yet, but
yeah, I don't know what it'll do. Again, like I'm gonna play VGC instead of doing Summerfest, and
I mean, we're gonna slowly see people just like leave, if that's the case.
At least during spring and summer. I think, like, for example, last Springfest, because I hated Trireg, I didn't bother attending any except for Belgium, because I was one train, right? And so I was basically, quote unquote, I basically quit. I didn't have anything to do for 6 months or so, went to one event without testing, did fine, sure, but like, I think that will also happen where people take like these just long breaks in those moments, and yeah, some people might just not come back then because they're like, oh, I'm pretty happy without this maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so much competition right now,
Yes.
You have the big games, you have Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, even now, it's been around for a very long time.
Lorcana.
Yeah, Lorcana. Well, I think people consider Lorcana to be bigger, but it's been like, kind of. I'm not sure. Like, in Australia, it's pretty like hit and miss at the moment.
From what I've seen, Europe at least, Lorcana is doing pretty well.
League of Legends is making their own card game.
Yeah, I don't know how well that will do, but like that's at least a thing as well. I definitely think like Pokemon, One Piece, and Lorcana, and I guess Yu-Gi-Oh! Are like in the running for taking players from all directions. Let's say I think One Piece, especially like that has been like the big player stealer.
And they're like in a way they're backed in a situation like by companies, or they're in a place where Boucher can't really touch them, right? They're I guess like in the next tier in terms of like largest and money that is like kind of thing.
Yeah, and also just in terms of franchise, I think. Because like if you think about it, One Piece when it launched was instantly huge, not because the game was good, because no one knew the game, right? It was just because the IP was so powerful that it didn't really matter how good the game was. And then accidentally the game happened to also be good. And that kept players, which is important, because you've also had like big IPs launching card games and then just flop, and this one hasn't. Yeah, I also think though there's currently another Pokemon bubble going on. Like from
Pocket.
Oh no, bubble as in like speculators buying up all the cards and so forth, and so that is also bringing even more attention on that whole thing again. But like you say, Pocket as well. Pocket is also big, which also brings in more players. So overall, like, it's getting more and more competitive, and I don't think we can afford to lose long-time players right now.
Yeah, and I mean that's only from the big players as well. Like I think I said it a few times. I think Grand Archive is also doing, in a way, like really good.
Okay, I don't know that one.
It's like they were just a small card game, and it looks like from just their tournaments and stuff, they're doing good in terms of that.
Okay.
So like there's a lot of things happening, and I guess Bushiroad's releasing Hololive TCG, which is, I mean, that's automatically going to be hit. But then
is it?
No, I think we'll 100%.
Here then, or in general?
In general, the Hololive fandom is massive. Like it's actually massive.
I've never seen anything of it in Europe at all.
Yeah,
so like
maybe I think it'll be huge, but that's like a kind of collaboration kind of game. It's not fully owned by Bushiroad.
So I just Bushiroad shouldn't bother with like all these extra card games. Like I get it's like, oh, we're diversifying and like, oh, more options, and maybe this one will be a hit and la. It's like you have these two games, in my opinion, that are really, 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 how do I say it, like long time stayers. And now they're Shadowverse, I guess, like partially being owned by another company, so they don't.
And then Shadowverse is a collaboration between like Cygames and Bushiroad all the time. So
yeah, but so what I'm saying is like Bushiroad doesn't need to divert a bunch of attention to it because a lot of the work is still being done by another company, right? Like Cygames.
I'm not too sure about the specifics, but yeah.
But like to me, Bushiroad should just be all in on Vanguard and Wise.
I agree.
And I fuck all this other shit. Like, no offense to people who like the other shit, but like,
how many games do we have to see failed? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Like one thing that I disagree 100% is why Godzilla TCG?
Is that also a thing?
That's coming out, but you probably so like nothing.
Yeah, I'm not keeping up, but like
Yeah.
I just know every year there's some other game. There's Buddified, Dragonborn, I guess now Godzilla, HoloLive. Was there not another one? Live Love?
Oh no, so there's some games that are only released in Japan, but
It's just why. Like,
yeah, but the English ones that are coming out, the main one is HoloLive, and they're also releasing Godzilla TCG. And I think Godzilla won't be that good. HoloLive, I think, will be a big hit.
I don't think there's that many Godzilla fans in general anyways. I mean,
Not in the West, yeah, not in the West.
In the West, like, okay, it's like obviously a big franchise, people know about it, but are there like die-hard fans that
like
can't wait to play with Godzilla cards? Like, no, that's here maybe.
That's the main thing, like, there's a lot of people who watch Godzilla, but how many are you going to convert to playing card games?
Yeah, it's like, here's the Jaws card game. Yeah, everyone's seen the Jaws movie, but like,
Alien vs Predator card game.
like,
the IKEA card game, like
the McDonald's card game.
I can't
Honestly,
wait.
the McDonald's card game might be real.
Yeah.
that could work, you know. Imagine in your Happy Meal you have like a booster pack. That would go pretty hard.
Oh, dang,
Dude, after a month I would have a dick. The amount I eat there.
Yeah, but I think like there's like a lot of competition, and you don't want to lose any players at all.
Yes, and
I
think
them in.
The counter argument people will give is like, oh, but standard is growing, blah blah. You don't need premium. But it's like, I think a lot of your eternal long-time players, and consequently also a lot of your best players, are tied to your franchise only on premium right now. Like they'll play standard because they play premium, and not the other way around.
Like people are buying cases for standard because they play premium.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I know Kelvin is kind of like that. Buys standard.
Yeah, like
but
I have standard decks because I play premium, and so I'll go to the event, and so I'll play standard, and so I'll play test a bit of standard, and so forth. If you like, I will straight up just say this: if they ever axe premium, I'm gone instantly. There is not a single cell in my body that is thinking of going to like BCS only for standard. It is never gonna happen.
I think there's like quite a few people in the West that are like that as well, and that's fundamentally different from Japan. And like, I mean, there's a couple of things I want to say as well, right? Is that firstly is just with premium itself as a game, it's such a unique thing. Like when you compare standard as a game, its target market and the way it plays is similar to a lot of the other games that is already in the market. It's similar to like One Piece. It's similar to standard MTG. They all offer similar things to you, but premium itself is like kind of different state where you have Vanguard mechanics, but there's so many different things around it that it's in its kind of its own game. And I think like the fact that they're not even monetizing it is like crazy.
I agree. I mean, but it is such an old thing. Like everyone's saying, "Oh, we need a new set. We need a new set." Everyone wants a new set. But at this point, again, I'm tired of being the Vanguard. Promotionally, I'm just like, if it's not happening, so be it. Like, but
I feel like people say it's because Japan doesn't play premium. Then why can't you just give premium to English?
Yeah, let SEA do it. Like,
I mean, Thailand got Buddified. Thailand still has Buddified, and it's been. Because Buddified dead around, but only Thailand does. Like, I mean, I feel like you could kind of do the same way.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And also, look, every single premium collection, by the way, has aged insanely well monetarily. Every single one. If you had to buy any like set of Vanguard products and just sit on it, and I'm not telling you to, I don't want scalper bullshit like in Pokemon, I'm saying if you had bought every Vanguard set and just sat on it, the ones that would have done the best for you financially was premium collection by a factor of like 5 compared to all the others. Everything else aged like shit because power creep and so forth. What this tells you is that the amount of cards bought from these that people want to own because they want to play the format is huge, and they want to keep them because you can play them for a long time. Like if I buy Buff tomorrow for its whatever price it is right now, I know for a fact in a year or 2 years that deck is worthless because it will have been power creeped into nothing. Meanwhile, if I buy a premium deck right now, 2 years from now, assuming everything keeps going the exact same way, it will have held value, maybe even gone up, because these cards stay playable, and that is so important. Like, and so that shows you that this product is actually really good to print because it stays demanded. Like if there's a premium collection box in a store near you right now and it's still at MSRP, you can buy it and sell the cards for 6x the value. So like that is crazy in any card game ever, but only here it's possible. So it's never dead product. That is so wild. It's the only Vanguard product that isn't dead on the shelves. So like, yeah, I don't know. They should just fucking print it. Like,
yeah, and I think like no support for premium numbers is still increasing.
Yes,
I mean,
but
I'm
only
surprised
on
to say-
standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, like in premium as well. The numbers.
Oh, like that. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's supposedly, we haven't gotten anything at all except for pre-PRs, right, and standard product. But still more players are playing, and I feel like if you actually supported the format like correctly, you get a lot more players.
Yeah.
Because the other thing I want to say also is the West is just fundamentally different from Japan. Not like just because we play premium, but also because we don't even get the same standard product as Japan, right?
The promos can sometimes stay like out for ages. Like one of the cards that I really wanted to play in standard Night Rose was the what's the name? The clone of the Broken Keter card, like the one when placed check top 5. I think like
the
that one. And now we're finally getting it like in some book. In 6 years we'll have one. So very stoked for Night Rose in 6 years. But yeah, and also the funny thing is, like, a lot of people for premium will go like, but it's solved because there's no new product. It's like, no, every single format has been wildly different. All of them. So like, people,
World was supposedly solved.
Yeah, I mean, or the format before that, people said like, oh, it's solved. Or the format before that, people are like, oh, it's just Grand Blue and Neo Nectar. It's like, there's no. Fucking Meteor Gridora came out of nowhere, and then Fenrir OTK came out of nowhere, and there will keep on coming. And now Shout Loop will come. There will always be new decks coming out of nowhere because there's just so much depth to it. It is beautiful. It is art.
It's good. It's a sign of like a great format, right? Being able to, innovate. Yeah. I mean, that's what everyone says. Like, I want to make my own decks.
Yes.
But like sometimes, like when you play standard, for example, how many times are you building your own decks?
I mean, no,
or
that just doesn't
like
exist.
four cards in your deck, right? Which I mean, it can be okay because it's targeted to different players.
Yeah, I mean, basically, standard doesn't have deck building the way I see it. There's no like. Sometimes there's maybe like 1 or 2 ratios, but overall, standard doesn't really have deck building. It just has playing. And even then, I mean,
I feel like, in a way, so with standard and premium, I think that like if you saw recently, they reduced Legion back into standard, right?
Yes, I've seen the Dai Kaiser or Daiusha or whatever the hell gets a Legion. Yes.
But it's like even if they release all the kind of mechanics back, it's still not premium though.
No, because you just don't have the years of cards. And like as standard,
you also don't have the same play styles. Like you have strides, but I mean, are you playing the same way?
In standard, you have 2 strides, and some now I guess have 3. But it's like in premium they're not equally power, but a number of clans have ones that are utility and niche in different ways. Whereas in standard, it's more so like you do this one, and then after that, you definitely do this one. And you don't have G guards, and G guards also change which strides you do when, which is also a huge change because like you might want to go first and then G-Guard to get your GB3 live, or maybe you want to play like the History Collection Grade 3, which then gets your GB live, or maybe you don't want to because you want to be on like, for example, Luard maybe wants to be on Drag Heart and then Drag Driver, the V stuff, so you don't get a History. So like there's so many options, and that is just not a thing. Like I think Standard is way more scripted. It's just like Night Rose is literally, I'll just go Obadiah, I'll go Obadiah again, and now I start Night Rosing you. And it's always the same thing, almost, no matter the matchup. Maybe one matchup is different or so. Yeah, I don't know.
Is there a world where, like, let's say they introduce like G Guardians back in Standard?
That'd be sick. That'd be so good.
I mean, and add a lot of, I think it'd add a lot of depth to the game.
Yes, but imagine how many they would need to print, and then you also need to have the strides that benefit from that GB increase, right? Because if you just add new shield, cool, that's already an improvement, don't get me wrong, especially if there's like interactive ones. But then you also need to like give payoff for using them or not using them. Maybe there's
Yes.
specific matchups where you want to save them up because you get around guard restrict. Maybe there's ones where you need to use them in a certain way because there's going to be some interaction that matters. Like maybe some opponent Vanguard gets a special skill if your field is empty, but one G guard revives something to get around that. You know, you need all of that to create that depth. And I think that's really hard to introduce, like, you know, just in one set, you know. Premium is
and
where
like
it is.
not every decks will be able to run G Guardians as well. So you have to factor
Oh
that
yeah,
in.
that's not. Yeah, no, that would be frustrating if anything, because I think G guarding is such a cool mechanic. Having to play specific decks or not get it at all would be actually really sad. Like I honestly, if they added G Guardians to standard, I would never ever want to play anything but a
Stride deck.
stride deck. I mean, that's already the case kind of to me.
Unless, like, the thing is, if they do that, then they have to give the other non-stride decks so much more other things to increase its power level.
Yeah, and that'll be frustrating. And then you'll get those stupid cards again that say, if you don't have a G zone, do something broken. Like, fuck off. Like, no. Not that they're broken. I think all of them are bad, right? But like Dancing Cutlass was good in Maelstrom or something like that.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like, it's so annoying.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
But I mean, my goal with this video is definitely not to just glaze premium. Like, we can glaze Pokemon as well if you want.
Yeah, sure. I mean, no, like, I feel like the biggest thing I have with just Vanguard competitive side, especially, is that other games are offering a lot of competitive. Like, they're offering the whole package. You
Yes.
have your fun stuff. You have your competitive stuff. They offer the holistic package
Yes.
into their game. And I think Bushiroad is like one step behind where they're still offering like not everything.
Yes.
And yeah, it's
Yeah, I definitely...
2025, you know.
Playing Rezile this... Okay, so first of all, I kind of threw this standard season because I was playing Rezile, and I think if you played Rezile this season, you were throwing. Like, sorry, if you did well with Rezile, that's not because of you. That deck plays so many bricks early game. If you didn't get blown up early, you got lucky. Like so many grade 3s. The stupid fucking order package. Like I hated that deck with a fiery passion. It is the worst. No, I can't say that. Doji is not the worst deck I've ever. Doji was strong. Rezile is the worst standard deck I've ever played, and it was the second best because it can high roll so much. But like, even if I was on Levy, I think a lot of it was still not up to me, and that was very frustrating to me. I think we were basically in a tier 0 format. Tops might not fully show that because Rezile can still sack, but I think like if you remove variance ever so slightly, your Levy was tier 0, and like, I do not think that mirror was particularly interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I true that I should have just played Levy, but even then, ew.
Yeah.
Just ew.
I guess, like, do you want to glaze other games? Like, what things do you think Bushiroad can do to make it better?
I would... Okay, so do you mean standard specifically then?
Sure, let's
Because
say
we've already
standard.
talked so much about premium.
yeah.
Like we know what they should do. You know, make new products, new ban list, make it teams again in spring, keep BCS running, and I think we're good. But in standard, first of all, G Guardians I think are great, or some other thing. Maybe there's some other like.
I think the idea is just to increase like the agency in standard.
Yes.
That's the overall
So imagine
idea.
if there's like, rather than a shield, you could like discard a draw trigger, because that would also make people play draw triggers again, which is better because fronts are cringe. We can get into that later. But if you could discard a draw trigger to do something utility-wise in your opponent's turn, that would be sick. Like imagine if your opponent attacks, you can discard a draw trigger, which gives you a utility guard or whatever, and that lets you target an opposing rear guard and it loses its abilities. Something like that. Again, I'm thinking off the top of my head. I'm sure there's better ideas, but stuff like that would be really interesting.
Adding interaction, well, at least, you know.
It would add interaction, it would add thinking, it would add depth, and also it would stop people from running fronts. Because I think fronts are actually fundamentally cringe as hell, because it takes away the thinking behind the 2-2 pass. I think it's extremely frustrating when you give your opponent a 2-2 pass because you want them to greed, because that makes you live, which is interesting depth in Vanguard, right? And then they go up front crit. It's like, oh, cool. Like, beyond OTs being awful, of course, those just need to be completely banned. Beyond OT, breaking, I think front breaking is cringe too. So like if you make draws do this kind of stuff, would be interesting. Also, it would make it so hands are bigger, so better players will win. Because in general, if hands are bigger, that means that you don't die quickly from sack and triggers have less impact, which means, yeah, better players win.
Yeah, I think right now one of the big things is going first. It's like such a huge advantage.
That as well. I probably think there should probably be like a going second advantage again. Strides gave that very well. Like they did that so well. I don't know if the lock behind going second is the way though, because I do think that when people blind second and then second is broken, I think that's also not very good. I think at one point, like in I want to say G, people wanted to blind second a lot, depending on the format.
Well, in G, you want to go second, yeah.
Yeah, and so like you don't want that either because that's the same thing. That still does the dice roll changing everything.
But the thing is, back in G, like, well, towards when G Guardians got released, you want to go second, but you had plays going first.
Yes.
And you had big plays going first as well.
Yes, that's the thing as well. Like in Premium right now, there's decks that want to go first, there's decks that want to go second. You can build your deck to want to go second or go first. That's interesting agency that I think Standard could definitely use, but it's very hard to do that. Because I think before the Guardian ticket, we really didn't have that in Premium that much. I think going first was usually strongest still. I think really the Guardian ticket added a lot of that. And then I guess History Collection kind of pushed in the other direction again. I think before History Collection, I actually just said like, I want to build a deck that blinds seconds, no matter what, because the Guardian tick. Oh no, it was the same one. I guess before we figured out that certain History Collection strides are really good. That's a better way to say it. Yeah. Standard should get stuff like that. But then again, I have to say, going second and going first in Standard also feels frustrating because you have such little hand. I noticed. Like if you don't get that extra draw and so forth. You don't get like, your swing.
You should run good decks.
Yeah, and then like cyclers don't work. So like when I play a stride deck and I go second and I go like, you know, discard Biscotti and Luard or discard whatever and draw 3, I'm like, oh,
feels good, right?
Whoa, that then you're playing the game, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think both feel frustrating for different ways. So yeah, okay, let's make a list. Ban over triggers, first of all, super obvious. Add utility on draw triggers by discarding them, doing stuff in your opponent's battle phase. Remove all the fucking name locks. Not all, but like a lot of them. It's very frustrating when I see a new set and it's like, oh, I'm gonna see, first of all, what the premium interactions are, but also just to deck build more in Standard. It's like, if you have a Vanguard with blah 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 in its name. Okay, sure. Next card. If you have a Vanguard with blah 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 in its name. Okay, next card. And then it's like, oh, this card does this thing. If your set order zone has this, it's like, oh, that's the same thing. All these cards are name locked. This shit sucks. Like, if you want to deck build in Standard, all you need to do is Control F, type the name of your Vanguard, and it will show you all the cards you need to play. And that's so frustrating. I want more generics. I know everyone's saying like, oh, generics get too expensive. Print them in the double rare slot. But just, I want endless generics with interesting utility. Because also a lot of the generics are just infinitely worse than name-specific stuff to a point where you don't want to play them anyway.
Well, unless they're triple rare, then they're really good.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, I don't know, frustrates me to no end. And I understand that makes balancing harder. That's also why in Premium you get stuff like Shout Loop. But fuck it. I don't care. I don't care if balancing is harder. That's your job, you know. make the game more interesting in this way. Because also I think the fact that Standard very rarely has a deck building edge makes preparing less useful. I think better prepared players don't actually get that much more in Standard because your deck building doesn't matter.
It's very rare that someone comes up like a completely new deck versus just picking out like 8 or 4 cards that are the flex slots for the deck, right?
And I mean, I guess that's also because Japan gets the cards up front and is actively testing it, so they like pre-solve some things. But despite that, I think they're still, I don't know.
I mean, that's another issue. They should bring the release date to the close.
Oh yeah, that'd also be really cool. I don't know, like the only time I remember in Standard cooking was Gravidia in BRO.
Gravidia. I think recently Alita Gima was made popular by the West versus the East.
Oh, also the Night Rose build Nuno made and then April used, I think was pretty interesting. I don't know if a version already existed. But beyond that, just nothing. No cooking, nothing is, that's sad. I like the cooking aspect of card games.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yes, and I think Wizard could do more by just removing like restrictions. And sometimes things will break, and that's funny. Who cares?
Well, one of the things with Standard as well is that even though it's random, I think a lot of other card games are pretty random on the competitive side as well. Like, you can be you can get an edge, but still, variance kicks in at some degrees. But they have ways to mitigate that variance as well, like with better prizing that goes all the way down, or have different world qualification structure and all that. What do you think of those?
So I think the world's qualification is somewhat flawed. I think top 3 is like a good thing to have, but I think there should be an added system where if you do well consistently, you should qualify too. Because like there were people who got like 4 top 8s. Like a German fellow I met, he was like super consistent early in the season. He got like top 8, like and stuff. He's not at Worlds, like really. I think it is so much more impressive to get a bunch of top 8s in a row than top 3 ones. Because honestly, top 3 in Standard, it will happen to literally anyone, no matter how they play. No offense, like it is so possible. And like I'm glad that they got to Worlds that way. Enjoy Japan and stuff. But I think if someone then was getting top 8, especially in Standard, that is so much more random in my opinion, they should get their invite. April, similar story, sorry for knocking you out of top 8 in the Netherlands, but she should have gotten in, on some kind of points-based system. I don't know how exactly, but that should be a thing. The only thing that's important there, locals shouldn't count.
Yeah.
Because not to hate on locals, but basically there's not enough big locals for everyone, and so anyone who's in London would have a giant edge. Anyone who's in a specific place in France would have a giant edge. Anyone in a specific place in California would have a giant edge, and everyone else would be fucked. So no locals. No, those points shouldn't be a thing. Even in Pokemon, that is so big, they still have the issue of the local warrior. Getting to Worlds before, not anymore this season, I guess.
Not anymore.
But that, just no locals. But a points-based system, if you get a bunch of top 8s this season, you're in. Fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's important, especially with how Standard is right now.
Yes.
We're talking about how good it could be, right? There's a world where both Standard and Premium are in a great place.
But I think even if the formats are better, that points-based thing should still be there.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
It's just better.
Another unique thing about Vanguard as well is that it's one of the with 2 formats. Magic does 2 formats, but I think it's one of the only few.
Magic doesn't anymore, right? I thought. Do they? I know for a long time they did, but as far as I'm aware, if you're currently not playing Standard on the Arena client or whatever the hell, they don't give a fuck about you.
Oh, not even Modern?
I don't know. I know they keep it updated with Modern Horizons.
Oh, my bad. It's Standard and Commander with Magic.
but Commander doesn't have events.
Oh, they're trying to.
Yeah, but Commander is a fan-made format, so it's mostly. But it's not, a competitive format. So I think in Magic it's just Standard or bust. Actually, I don't think there's a single card game right now properly supporting multiple formats. At least competitively speaking, even though they should. So honestly, maybe Bushiroad is one of the better ones in that regard right now, which is a hot take. We've been talking a little shit here and there, but yeah, they can just do better.
No, I mean, it's constructive criticism, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love Vanguard, obviously. I literally, this, I quit at one point and I was like, oh, I miss the homies. This game is fun enough. I'll come back, I like Vanguard, but, obviously you have to criticize if you care.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so I think that's a lot of things to say, Standard, or it is, how to make it slightly better. I guess, the other thing was, what I was going to say before is Standard product is in such a bad place for the West, I feel, because every Japanese set that comes out has these collab cards, right? Yeah. And they kind of make the set complete. I'm not sure if you ever bought like a case. You didn't really buy
So
cases.
I bought a case with set 1 for standard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure together with Chris, actually. We opened it together, it was fun. But ever since then, I just get all my singles from 50 cards don't show up. Use the code Solemn. So I don't really know, how bad or good sets are right now. But I do appreciate a lot of the bling. I think the bling factor has improved a lot compared to older Vanguard.
Yeah.
I think G in terms of bling sucked. Just unplayably bad. Like if you bought the set with Wailing Tavas, which high-end rarity was there? You had Wailing Tavas. That's it. Okay, SGR Wailing Tavas. That was your one chase card. Wow, sick. That shit sucked. So then with V, they improved it a little bit already with the Origin rares and then SVRs and so forth.
Yeah.
And in Stack, they went ham. So I do like that. But I don't know about like the non-high rarity stuff. How that can be improved because I just don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, like, because they release the set and then they fill up a lot of the slots with collab. Like, they have a collab with this another thing, and it's like its own decks.
Like Mushi King and stuff?
Mushi King, like, all the Bang Dream stuff that you might see. So we sometimes do get all of them in English, and or they get released in different orders or in different sets. So some sets are, like, totally dead, or it just feels like extremely low value.
Yeah, because we didn't get love and stuff like that.
Yeah, or or like one card in that set is like insanely expensive because the collab that also used to be there that made up a lot of the value wasn't there anymore, and that's like the only good card. So
the solution is to not print fucking collabs in sets and make your sets good on their own. Like I am not a fan of fake universes being forced into Vanguard. Personally, I think it's like really weird that like. Oh, let's play standard, and what's the best deck right now? Oh, Kamen Rider. I'm like, what? That's not a thing, but just as an example, like, no, that's not Vanguard. Fuck off. Like, even if I were a fan, let's say one of the collabs is Beyblade, right? I like Beyblade. I still want Beyblade in Vanguard. Because I think just like it waters down the lore. I think it's bad PR for people looking in who are considering starting. And then the issue you just added only makes it worse. Because maybe they have like the license to do it in Japan. They don't have the license in the West. And now our format gets like messed up because maybe that deck was balancing out some other thing,
Yeah, but I think that's like another argument for us to say like English is like its own thing. We don't get all the things. Maybe we should pre-ban certain things. Because other games also. Imagine we had a small hit on Saga,
That would have been pretty cool for Worlds, right? Wait, what won Worlds? It's Baffin Worlds? Okay.
Second place is Elite Glima. But they could have hit, like, in a world where you could, pre-ban certain things, you could also hit Elite Glima, which was really popular in the West and not popular in the East until now. Now it's not really popular in Japan. So.
Elite Glima is the bat, right?
Yeah, the bat, Yeah, so just saying,
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Yeah.
You want to hear? Do you want to know about a game that really prioritizes going first and also runs on generics for their engines, for their decks? It's standard Vanguard. Could be
cool.
easier.
Yeah. Maybe I've been bitching about nothing. Maybe Ella de Glima shows that standard is the best. Playing generic good stuff, and inventing new ways to play, and Go on.
Yeah. Okay. I think we covered like a lot of things, a lot of I guess criticisms and also positives, right? For future. What do you want to? Is there anything you want to add, or?
I set up a tattoo appointment in September for 3 days back to back, and I'm really scared. That shit's gonna suck. Yeah, I don't know. You wanted me to add something. I couldn't think of anything, so here we go, bro. Like 3 days back, like day 1, 7 hours, day 2, 10 hours, day 3, 6 hours. I might land in the hospital, so this might be my last video actually with you. Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, this shit is gonna suck.
Yeah, we can only do this when you come here as well. So
maybe next year I'm not here. Maybe I'm here without an arm.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, at least you'll be here if you don't have the arm.
Yeah.
But then we can't. If you're not here, then it could be. I mean,
this could be a really romantic.
If you don't qualify, it'd also be sad. But you always qualify, right?
In 2019 I failed.
Oh, but you still came anyway.
Yeah, I still came anyway.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe just come, right?
Yeah, easy.
I think it's kind of funny. Like I think a lot of people, we've been playing Vanguard for a long time. I was about to say like at our age, but
Our age. I'm young. I don't know about you, bro. I'm young.
I was about to say like everyone's like now going past the stage. I gotta qualify. Now they're like, qualifying's good, but I'll come here and chill as well for much.
I mean, yeah, I'd come regardless, but also I want to qualify.
You want to play and win
bro, I don't
Worlds,
want
right?
going to be washed. I don't want to go 5-2 at Worlds every year. Fuck this shit, bro.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think now we're talking about random stuff, but I think that's kind of it, right?
Yeah,
like,
bro. We've been going for an hour, so like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kept on actually unpressing my record button on my phone, so it's just been a segment.
Okay, I know. Mine says 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Oh, that means my video's gonna run out of battery soon. Okay, let's wrap it up. All right, thanks, Solemn, for showing up.
Thank you.
Here's a fist bump. Yeah.
Yo.
Okay. And yeah, I hope I'll see you next year for our next episode.
Yes, of Real Talk with Solemn.
Yeah. Now that we remember the time.
Yes. Subscribe to WCC or whatever the name the channel is right now.
Yeah, WCC, and subscribe to Solemn Vanguard. And also, I think you have a new band, right?
Oh yeah, AAA Void, best band in the game. I literally recorded a music video in Osaka 2 days ago with like dancers and everything. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you should see that.
Yeah,
it's good.
I don't think this will be out before, but I don't know. Check out The Gates by AAA Void.
All right, cool. Thanks, Solemn. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
1, 2, 3, go.
All right.
It's okay. We can cut it out. So, yeah, we're back with another episode of wait, out of all the time. We need to start again,
Yeah, we should start again.
Well, luckily the thing just came, so.
All right. I mean, we can keep going, right? And just cut off the beginning. It's fine.
Sure.
We still have bloopers.
Okay.
What a great video, bro.